y'all, welcome to Criminally Creative, a channel about my various creative endeavors. Today is Sunday, July 30th, 2023, and this is episode 45. I'm Susan. You can find me on Ravelry as Legal Eagle and on Instagram as Criminally Creative Podcast. If this is your first time checking me out, I appreciate it, and if you're a returning viewer, I thank you for that as well. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll get on with the show. So it's been about 4 weeks. I think it was early July when I was here last, right before, it was the day before July 4th. Excuse me, I'm still doing the cough and throat clearing thing, so I apologize for that. So several things have happened since, I guess I last talked to you. There's going to be a lot of haul in this episode. I will try to remember to put timestamps, which I think I've forgotten to do the last couple of episodes. So if you're not interested in certain portions of the video, you can hop around. I will also try to remember to put links to anybody I talk about, but I'm not always great about doing that. I have to remember to write notes down to do it, but anyway, let's get on with it. So Hearsay, what have I been up to since last time? A little bit of family stuff. My youngest niece turned 13, so we had a lunch that Sunday at my brother's house for that. Excuse me. What else? Went to a pool party for a friend's 5-year-old girl. That was fun. I was supposed to go, the North Carolina Stitchers Facebook group, one of the people in that group had organized a stitch day in Durham on Sunday, excuse me, Sunday the 16th, I think. I was going to go to that, but I got up that morning, I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't feel like driving an hour to Durham. I was like, what am I going to take? I just didn't feel like it. So I think everybody had a great time. Sorry I missed it, but hopefully I'll make the next one. What else since then? Let me look at my notes. Last weekend, Snuggly Monkey, which is a primarily online embroidery type store. They have a little bit of cross-stitch stuff, but they have more sashiko, embroidery, things like that. They are mostly online, but once a month they have an open studio day where you can go into their shop and shop. And this month actually also was, I think, their 2-year anniversary. So my friend Michelle and I drove up to Durham last Saturday and went to Snuggly Monkey. You'll see more about that in haul, Stashing for Retirement. And then while we were up there, we went to Scrap Exchange, which is a store in Durham that's kind of like a thrift store, but for craft supplies and a bunch of other stuff. So you'll see a little bit of one thing I bought there. And then we went over to Freeman's Creative, which was also having an anniversary event. But I actually did not buy anything there. For once, Michelle bought a little something. I didn't buy something. I think I've mentioned before, Michelle and Peggy, my two good friends that I travel with a lot, that we do lots of crafty stuff with. Peggy and I are usually the ones spending all the money, while Michelle's always the really reasonable one. And I definitely did outspend Michelle at Snuggly Monkey. I won't lie about that. But I was very proud that I went to Freeman's Creative, which sells both yarn and fabric and a little bit of stitch stuff, and I didn't buy anything. So anyway, let's see. So this week, my sister and her family are in from California, and my sister and my nephew came in Wednesday, and my brother-in-law flew in yesterday and drove up to where my sister and my parents had gone for the weekend to the mountains. So I took Friday off of work so that I could go up and see my sister and my nephew. So I went and had lunch with my sister and my mother, and in Elon, and then we went over. My family owns a little variety store in Burlington that my grandfather started like after World War II. If you think about like old-fashioned 5 and dime sells everything, that's what this still is. And it's in Burlington, North Carolina. And my father and my nephew were over there, so we went over there afterwards so I could see my nephew for a little bit and hung out with them, and then came home. And then yesterday I got up early in the morning And I drove down to Surfside Beach, just south of Myrtle Beach, because it was the 2-year anniversary of Barefoot Needle Arts. Peggy, one of my best friends, Peggy, who I talk about all the time, she lives down there. Excuse me. And Amy and Memory Baker, the owners of Barefoot Needle Art, have gotten to be good friends. So I just decided, it's about a 3-hour drive, so it was a long day, but, I've done it before. So I drove down, got there about 11. Surprised. Peggy knew I was coming, but Amy and Memory did not. So surprised them. Spent a good bit of money. Hung out stitching until they closed about 3. And then Peggy and I went to the Mexican place next door and had kind of a late lunch / early dinner and chatted for a while, and then I drove home. So anyway, so it's been a little bit of minimal traveling and stuff, and but having a good time. So July has been really quiet at work. We've been able the last couple weeks to work from home a couple days a week. I think it's getting ready to pick back up again. So I have gotten a lot done in July. I don't know if I'll get nearly as much done in August, but we'll see. I'm sorry about the cough, and the more I talk, the more I cough, and it's actually a form of asthma. My airway gets irritated. So anyway, let's get on with the crafting. We have, first up is verdicts, and I have 3 verdicts this month. 3 things that I finished in July. I don't even know who I am. It's absolutely not normal, and none of them are huge, but I have finished 3 things. So first up is probably the one you're expecting, which is my February Quaker. This is a pattern by From the Heart Needle Art, and I am doing these one a month, starting on the 8th of each month, for 7 on the 8th for Julia, which is the hashtag is 7 on the 8th for Julia. This is my friend Julia Brooks will be turning 70 in December, on December 8th. And so starting in June 8th, every month on the 8th, there's a group of us starting a project. Now, I have chosen small projects that hopefully I can start and finish in the month, but not everybody is doing small things. Some people are just starting a project. So it's a start along, not a stitch along. Everybody is doing their own projects. I have chosen to try to knock out the first 7 of these monthly Quakers from the Needle Art that I'm hoping to have in my office. So this was the February. I did this on 40 count. Sandy Toes from Barefoot Needle Art is the fabric. It is my new favorite neutral, and you'll see more of it this episode. I did it with the called for classic colorwork colors, which was 2 pinks and that green. So that is finished. I will not fully finish any of these, at least until close to the end of the year, because tuck that in because that actually has a whip on that same piece of fabric. Probably, I think I'll probably want to start displaying them next January. So I imagine by the end of November, if I keep up with it, by the end of November, I'll have the first 6 done. So I will probably go ahead at that point and decide how I'm going to fully finish them so that I can get those 6 done, excuse me, and start displaying them in January with the intent of finishing the last 5, because I'll have 7 done by the end of the year, and then hopefully in the first 5 months of the year I will get the last 5 done, so by the time we get the second half of the year they'll be ready to go. My plan is just to finish them on foam board or something, and then I have a couple of different options. I haven't decided whether I want to do them I might soft finish them to hang on my door, or I might finish them on foam board I have like a metal tin kind of easel thing that could sit on my desk, and I could do magnets to put on there. I haven't decided which way I want to go yet. Anyway, so that was the first verdict. The second verdict is a project that I've been trying to get finished the last couple of months. I think y'all saw it recently. I'm looking, sorry, I was trying to find something to hold up behind it because it's white fabric so you can see it. This is the Chronicles of Narnia, and I haven't ironed this yet, sorry. This was a stitch along done by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts that I started this February 12th of 2022. It was a stitch along that started last February. Excuse me. This is done on 32 count antique white, and with the DMC, call for DMC. I didn't show you a picture where I was last time, but last time basically this was done except for the back stitching, and I had just started this part. So I finished all that, did all the back stitching. So that is done finally. I'm not sure. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with that one yet either. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something maybe literary, literary way to do it, but I haven't come up with it yet. So that one's probably just going to wait a while and see. But I finally got that one done. That was one of my projects that was not on my Whip Go board because I felt like I could get it finished finally this year. Put that back where that goes. And then finally is one I hadn't really planned to finish, but it's pretty small. So, well, I need that back. I need to buy me one of those like, quilt boards or something to hold up behind things. This is Life Liberty, which was a Mill Hill kit. And, you know, I've seen this before because I started it on Memorial Day. And it's got beads and some of the, like, I don't know if you can see, let me put this back down so I can use my hand to get this closer. There's like little houses on that top row, but the color changes are very subtle. And I don't know if you can see like the beaded hearts there. I don't know. There's a little bit of glitter you can see. But anyway, I was working on this one night and my husband saw it and said he really liked it. So I just got this finished the other night. I'm just going to pop it in one of the Mill Hill frames that's made for that size of kit. And he wants it upstairs on his desk here or something. I don't know what he's going to do with it. So I had just started that Memorial Day and I finished that up. So those are my 3 verdicts for the month. And we will move on to court in session. So I'll start with knitting like I usually do. I have worked some on my socks. I've worked a little bit on my corner-to-corner blanket. I'm not going to show you that just because it doesn't look much different. The only knitting I am going to show you is I had lunch with my friend Pam earlier this month. And we were just chatting about projects and stuff because I know her through knitting and cross-stitch and everything. And I got to talking about this project and decided I really wanted to pick it back up and get it done. So I have made some consistent progress on this month. And this is my Ladybird wrap, which is a pattern by Joji Locatelli. I'll put a picture in of what it will look like when it's finished. It's a rectangular wrap. I don't think I have a picture where it was last time, but it was just a shorter version of what I'm getting ready to show you. I started this on February 3rd of 2022, and it has languished, obviously. And I'm doing this with Suburban Stitcher sock yarn, and I'm actually doing the yarn that the pattern was designed in. I ordered a kit. So this is as far as I've gotten. When I picked it back up earlier this month, really, I think I was probably about right here. So I've gotten a decent amount done on it. There's a lot of slip stitches involved in this, which is what creates this pattern, is slip stitching. So the picture, I'll put the picture that what it'll look like up again here so you can see. This is the center piece. And you do that, and then there's picking up on sides and knitting around and all that to create the rest of the stuff. So I am almost halfway through the center. I'm not quite, I don't think I'm quite to the middle. Yeah, I've got like 20 more rows to get to the center of the center, and then I do the like reverse of this over there. I'm using the Called For Suburban Stitcher yarn in her sock base. It has these 2 colors, which are the 2 colors I'm using for the center part, and then these 2 come into play in the border. I didn't write down all the if you're interested in any of my knit projects, like details, yarn names, brands, all that stuff, I do have project pages for all my projects on Ravelry. And again, I'm Legal Eagle on Ravelry, so you can go and look at those. I'm also using a US 4 needle, 3.5 millimeter. I'm using signatures on this. If you're a knitter, you may or may not know that Signature Needles is closing. They are, I guess, retiring. I don't know. But anyway, so they were having some sale on some needles. I really like their needles. They're expensive. And I thought about going to buy some more, you know, because it's you're not going to be able to get them. But I'm not knitting enough to really justify it at this point. I have plenty of needles, trust me. So anyway, so that's all the knitting I'm going to show you. Let's get on to the cross stitch projects. So my first Whip Go Call for July is in this Christmassy bag from the Brass Button. It is Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. Put a picture up of what it will look like when it is finished, and a picture of where it was when I last showed it to you. I am doing this on 27 count Linda in the Whisper colorway. I am doing this 1/1 so that it is not quite so gigantic. And this is where I am now. I finished this third block and I got the fourth block outlined. So like I said, this was my one of my Whip Go calls for July. My goal for this was 10 hours of stitching, and in that 10 hours I got 2,512 stitches done. So a lot of people really like the stats, so I'm going to try to remember to tell you things like how many stitches I put into it between the last picture and this picture. I track all that stuff because I like it. I just don't always remember to say it. So let me know if you like that. If you hate it, I guess let me know that too, because if nobody but me likes it, I'll guess I could stop. But of course, I also won't promise I always remember to do it. My second Whip Go Call, which is in this bag from Brass Button, which is just pretty flowers, is Winter Rose Manor by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. Oh, and the other thing, sorry, backing up to Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. I started Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow June 10th of 2021. That's the other thing I want to try to tell you is when I started something. But anyway, so Winter Rose Manor, which I started December 22nd of 2021. This is what it looked like the last time you saw it. I am doing this on 36 count XJU Designs Milk Coffee with all of the called for floss. And again, my Whip Go goal for this was also 10 hours. And this is where I am now. And in that 10 hours, I did 2,480 stitches. So mainly I finished that basket of flowers on top of the house is totally done. I finished the roof of the house and started a little bit of the house. Got some of the border down past on this side, down a little bit further. And worked a little bit more on the few of the little motifs between the house and that other edge of the border. So this is the top half of the pattern. I need to finish up all the motifs on my right side. So I guess I think it's your left if you're looking at it, on this side. And then I will start working my way down on that. So and then my full coverage piece for July was in this Brass Button bag, which is like Mountain Adventure. This is Blue Ridge, which I'll put a picture up here of what it will look like when it's finished. And also a picture of what it looked like the last time you saw it. I am doing this. This pattern I bought from CrossStitch.com. It's based on artwork by Derek McCrae. And I am doing this on 25 count Easy Grid Lugana with called for DMC. Here's where I am now. And I did 2,015 stitches on this month. That Cypress was the code word for my semi-sane Facebook group. full cover focus project challenge to prove that, you know, I worked on it this month. So, okay, now we're on to the new starts for the month. Two of my, well, no, one of mine. So one new start was a start and a finish, the February Quaker. On July 4th, let me get the pattern out here. This is in a bag by Creative Carol. This is her smaller size all fabric bag. I showed you before I bought one of her bigger ones. I bought one of the smaller ones. I think I showed you this in haul last time. To see how I like the size. I like this size okay. I think I like the bigger one better, but that's just my personal preference. This is Love is Love by Jan Hicks Creates. This was my July 4th start. Because I decided that the concept of love and freedom kind of go hand in hand. I am doing this in a combination of called for and subbed. So basically, I just pulled from stash. If I had the called for, I'm using it, but a lot of them I didn't. So I just pulled fancy flosses, you know, other than the white, which is just DMC white. I pulled other fancy flosses I had that were about the right color. So, and this is on the same piece of fabric as my February Quaker. This is barefoot, 40 count barefoot needle arts sandy toes. And this is where I am. So I basically I did Love is Love, and I got at least one strand of each color in, so that going forward I can just pick what color I want to work on and do some of that. So and I'm just doing that, you know, 1/2 on the 40 count. Flip my notes page here. And my next new start is in this sock monkey bag that I got from Lynn X Stitches Creates. This is Christmas Mousse, which is a Panna kit. I started this on the 25th of July for Christmas in July. I don't do a full, like, knit all Christmas in July, but I wanted to start something Christmassy on the 25th. I forgot to tell you that Love is Love I did 1,065 stitches on this month. Excuse me. Christmas Mousse, I have not gotten too much done. I've done 625 stitches on it. This is on the kit 16 count Aida with the kit floss. I started in the middle. This is the top of the moose's head, and so this is his left antler if you're looking at the picture. So gotten that much done. I have scanned this pattern into Markup RXP. I'm not going to show you the pattern, but I'll show you how big so that's half the pattern. I mean, it's a good size chart, so it's easy to read, but I like having it Markup RXP because then I can, like, mark it off digitally. But there is a lot of, like, I'll just show you this little bit. There's, you know, with all the back stitching, it's kind of hard to read some of the symbols. So this one's a little bit, it's not slow going so much as it just takes, it's a little slower than normal because of having to read that pattern through the back stitch lines and everything. So, oops. And then the last new start is when I started yesterday, because I had finished that Life Liberty Mill Hill kit Friday night. I didn't feel like packing a bunch of stuff to take to stitching, to stitch at the store. So I just grabbed this little Mill Hill kit, Taboo Kitty. And started that yesterday and did 463 stitches in it, and that's where I am. So working on all the X's. So if I keep working on that one this week, I might have that finished the next week or so. But with these little mill hill kits, what tends to happen is I start them and then they sit for a couple weeks, and then I'll just need something quick to take with me. And so that's why they sometimes take a couple months to finish, just because I don't work on them consistently. So that is all of my stitching. Didn't hop around quite as much this month. I was a little bit more focused on some projects, which is a good thing. So on the docket, August WIPGO calls are out. My 2 WIPGO calls for August, I don't remember what the numbers are. I didn't write them down, but the Snow Queen by Mirabilia is one of my calls. So I look forward to getting some work on her. One of my other WIPGO call, that what I had in that number, was Bayou Cap, which if you've been here a while, you'll know that I finished earlier this year, rather. So I debated whether to just mark it done, put another WIP in there, call it a new start. I decided I didn't want to just mark it done, because I wanted my WIPGO numbers are the ones I used to kind of, have some focus for the month. I have had no trouble just making new starts at any random time this year, so I didn't need permission to do a new start. So I decided I need to put another WIP in there. And what I did is I looked at the WIPs that I had at the beginning of the year that I did not put on my WIPGO board originally, and the one I didn't want to put one of my new starts from this year on. I wanted to put one that was already started this year. And so the one I've decided to put in there is the Haunted Library, which was the stitch along from last year, by Lola Crow cross stitch. Is it Lola Crow? I gotta look now and see what her Lola Crow. Yeah, I felt like I was leaving a word off there. Anyway, I didn't put that one on my WIPGO board because at the end of the year when I was working on my WIPGO board, I was still working consistently on the Haunted Library, and stupid me thought that I would keep working consistently on it. I haven't touched it probably since sometime early in January. So, and I really do want to have it done. WIPGO won't get it done, but it'll at least get more progress on it. So so my goal for both of those is 10 hours. And then my full coverage focus for August is going to be the Haberdashery Shop, which is a project I started back in February, I think. It is a full coverage design by Doreen Jones, I think. Gotta look. Yeah, Doreen Jones. I will be starting the March Quaker by From the Heart Needle Art on August 8th, 4/7 on the 8th for Julia. And then I have several things kitted up that I want to start in the next couple months. They are all sort of fall, Halloween themed mostly, except one's fall. Scary Sampler by Heartstring Samplery. But I think I'm going to wait till September 1st to start that one, because I know that Memphis Sarah E. and some other people are doing a stitch along with that starts September 1. So I probably will wait till September 1 to start that. I really want to start Night Walk Down by the Blue Flower. And I have that all kitted up and ready to go. I have October's Party, which is the one I bought at Johnson City, all kitted up and ready to go. And I have Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, all kitted up and ready to go. So I will probably start at least one, if not more, of those sometime in August. It all just depends on, when I get the urge and how it goes. So, excuse me. And now that I have finished Narnia, I have picked another of my projects that is not on my WIPGO board that I had started already before this year, to try to start working towards the finish on that. And the one I'm picking is Good Company by Plum Street Sampler, which I started last year as my birthday start. And so I'm gonna try to work on that some to make some progress on that. You will notice that I did not mention Rosanna Dissery in my WIPs. I did put one more hour in on Rosanna Dissery, but I didn't show it to you because you can't really tell. It's 160 stitches, because I did 300 and some stitches, and then realized that I had started 1 or 2 stitches in the wrong place, and it was off. It wasn't centered, and I had to rip all that one over one out. So it's only got like 160 stitches, and that all happened in like an hour. But anyway, I'm just having a hard time motivating myself working on that one. So I hope to, before the end of the year, get the rest of the 10 hours in on that one, because I want the end product. I just have not been in the right brain space to do that 1/1. So it's just, I don't want to hate the project. So I don't want to force myself to work on it when I'm just not in the mood. So we'll see. Excuse me. So now I think we are on to stashing for retirement, and there's quite a bit of it. Okay, stashing for retirement. I have several little stacks here. So let's start. I'm going to start with everything I've ordered from Stitch New England, Pam in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. And these were a couple of different orders. Like some of it's like I get several monthly clubs from her, and so I'll order a couple things and she'll just throw it in with my monthly clubs. And sometimes I'll order a bunch all at once and go ahead and pay for shipping to have it shipped and stuff. So I don't remember which of these came with which, but so I got Mini Moon by Plum Street Samplers. There's a bigger one. Now I can't remember what, Summer Moon I think it's called, with the big red house and the moon and the bunny. But I just decided I probably wouldn't get around to stitching that one, but I love the moon and the bunny, so I went with Mini Moon, which was the smaller version. Not the same version of the pattern, but the smaller, similar pattern. Let's see, what other patterns I get? I've got the number 3 and 4 of the 2023 Fabrics Fragments in Time Berlin Wool Work. The swan and the pot of flowers. I got the next snowman, which was the farmer, and I always get fancy floss for that. The next one just came out, which is a pirate. It's interesting, the themes. I don't know if I got that. I've ordered that for 1, 2, 3 stitch. This is 40 count linen from Needle and Flax in the Fragile colorway. I ordered this from Stitch New England. I have a really good stash of 36 count, and so I have been stitching a lot more on 40 count lately, so I've really been trying to build up a good 40 count stash to pull from. So this was my July fabric. Yeah, I think this was July fabric from Atomic Ranch that I get through Stitch New England. This is Prairie Land, and I get a 32 count of my monthly fabric, because that's a way of building up a little bit of a different count than I normally gravitate towards buying. And then I ordered this 40 count of Atomic Ranch Oxygen. This was one of their summer colorways, and I really, really loved it. That is my wonderful Carolina blue. So like I said, those all came from Stitch New England. This one might have come from Stitch New England, but I think it came from 1, 2, 3 Stitch. I ordered this as a possibility for one of the patterns that I kitted up. I don't remember which one now. It's 40 count Fiber on a Whim Kunzite. I'm not sure how you say that word. And it's a light lavender colorway. Not sure. It's washing out in the light. You're not getting the, yeah, you can't. It's purpler than it, more purpley than it's showing, but it's not a real dark purple. It's a real light kind of lavendery purple. And I ordered that as a possibility for one of those 4 patterns I mentioned earlier, but I went with a different fabric. I can't remember. And when I ordered that and another fabric from 1, 2, 3 Stitch, which is kitted up, I think, already, I also ordered, I went ahead and I've been getting all these Santa collections from Mill Hill. I got the Rocky Mountain Santas. So I got Beartooth Santa. Teton Santa, and Pikes Peak Santa. I really like the Pikes Peak one. And then I also bought this, A Visit from St. Nick. This one is from 2018. This one's a little bit older, but I had never seen it before, and I really liked it, so I bought that one. I forgot I had that one in there. I need to start that one soon. I ordered, who did I order this from? I think maybe Stony Creek. I don't remember. So I got the Just Cross Stitch magazine from this spring, I think it was, and they had, I'm trying to find the pattern I bought this for. They had like a seasonal woman. I can't remember the name of the pattern. Hold on, let me find it. I mean, it'd be helpful if I look at the picture and see what page it's on. And I liked it, but I realized it was a series they were doing all year with all the seasons. And when I saw the picture, it's Mother Nature, and they're doing by seasons. And I think the one I bought had spring in it. But looking at all the pictures, let's see if that doesn't have any pattern, just parent list. So I had bought the April edition, which had this one in it. I don't know if you can see those. I think. No, I had the June edition, which had this one in it. And there's the one that's coming in the fall. And I like those okay. I like that. But when I saw the picture in the June magazine of the winter one, I really wanted that one. So I found the February issue. This is the winter one. And that's my favorite. I don't think I'll do all four, but I will do this one at some point. So I tracked the February edition down still on Stony Creek's website and ordered that. And that's the main reason I bought this issue, is for that pattern. I mean, there's a couple other cute patterns. I'll show you the picture page. I mean, like, I like that one, and I like that. And I like some of the other ones. This is a series they're doing that you got to buy a bunch of, this Christmas one that you got to buy a bunch of them to get all the parts. Which is cute, but it's not something I'm likely to actually do the whole thing of. So, but I really wanted that winter Mother Nature. I got my latest edition of Piecework. This is the one I have pretty much eliminated all of my magazine subscriptions except for this one. I love Piecework magazine. And it's not so much because I do projects out of it, because Piecework is all about handcrafts. It's not all, there's some cross stitch, there's some knitting, there's tatting, there's, it's all kinds of different stuff. But what I love about it is the history of it. It really gives you a lot of historical information about different techniques. And, like there's an article in here, Unearthed Colonial Metallic Trimmings. And about, metallic trimmings on colonial clothing. And, like the knitting pattern in here is the Charlotte Caplet, but it's based on a, it's based on a historical design or technique. The Vanderbilt pillow, is about fillet. This is a fillet and bobbin lace pillow, and it talks about the history and the techniques. So I love this magazine, and this is the only magazine that I continue to actually subscribe to. And I get both the hard copy and I get a digital copy of it. Like there's an article about 19th century folk embroidery in this one, which is really cool. So anyway, if you really like handwork, handcrafts, and you like the history of it, I highly recommend Piecework magazine. This kit I ordered from Amazon. Lisa, her Instagram name is Westwich Stitches, I think. I'll put it up along the bottom. She posted a picture of this because she saw somebody working on it. I don't know if she saw it on FlossTube or at a retreat or something. And I had never seen this before, and I just really liked it, so I ordered it too. It is a Dimensions kit, Illustrated USA, and it's on, white Aida, because all that white background is not stitched. So I'll probably just do it on the Aida, whenever I do it. I don't know when I'll start it, but I just liked it, and it was just one of those things I wanted to have. I ordered another bag from Sherry So Sweet. I love this fabric. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that this is the same fabric I bought a little bundle of from Annabella's. But, you know, so solid back, the little charm pack pieced front, and it's got orange pumpkin inside. So I just got that in the mail yesterday. Okay, let's before I get to Snuggly Monkey and Barefoot Needle Art, I'll show you the couple things I found at the Scrap Exchange and a thrift store. So Scrap Exchange, like I said, it's like a reuse store for craft, but they also have stuff like, you know, bits and nuts and bolts and pieces of metal and doorknobs and random stuff, but not for you to like fix your house, but like that could be used in craft projects or art installations or whatever. They've got out random papers and, you know, fabric scraps, upholstery fabric scraps, wood pieces. It's just, it's a neat little concept. So I found this, well, actually Michelle found this and showed it to me, and I bought it. Almost finished cross stitch. This is on probably about a 16 count Aida, maybe an 18 count. And it is done except for a little bit of this border here and this whole side of border down and that bottom border and the 4 corners. I mean, the nutcrackers in the middle, all the back stitching is done, everything. The hearts along the bottom are not completely finished. So I could not leave it there. They were selling it, I don't know, for like $3 or something. Whatever it was, it was worth it to me. And I'm going to turn this into a project bag. I put a poll on Instagram a couple weeks ago when I got this, you know, about whether or not I should finish it. Because, I mean, the colors, there's on the back, I mean, I think somebody had to die. Somebody died, or somebody had a sudden illness and could not finish this. Because, I mean, like, there's a string hanging on the back that obviously, you know, on this border where somebody meant to put a needle back on there and finish this. So, I'm sure this is all DMC. I'm sure I could figure out what colors they are. And these borders are done enough that I could mimic them. There's a solid heart corner done up here. I could, you know, figure it out. I could finish this, but, and I had put a poll up, should I finish it or should I leave it undone? And the majority of the poll was in favor of finishing it. And what was really surprising is my mother was in favor of finishing it. My father was like, no, leave it. My father, of all people, I thought would have said finish it. But I have decided, I think I'm leaving it undone. As just kind of a, you know, we all have things that get abandoned. So I'm going to, at some point, I'm going to put some interfacing on that and turn that into the side of a project bag or maybe a tote bag. I don't know. We'll see. So also at the Scrap Exchange, I found these 2 Paula Vaughn patterns. I don't know. I'm going to keep them for now. I don't know if I ever do them. They may end up eventually on a freebie table at a retreat. Wedding ring bouquet and Summer's Remembered. But, oh, and this one has, Summer's Remembered has 2 patterns. I like this one a lot. They were like 50 cents each, so I couldn't leave them there. And then I was at the thrift store the other day because I was looking for something, actively looking. We were looking for, my husband wanted to put the little TV we had up in the bedroom. We needed something to set it on. And he sent me a picture of some crappy plastic thing from Amazon for like $25. And I'm like, yeah, that's going to, you know, fall apart. I was like, I'd rather just go to the thrift store and find something at least a little more solid. So I did. I found like a TV stand. You know, it's not quality furniture. It's still kind of MDF like, but it's like painted black and, you know, it's more real furniture looking, and it was like $33. Anyway, while I was there, of course, I looked in the craft section and I found they had all the Christmas stuff out and 75% off. And I found 3 of the Better Homes and Gardens Merry Christmas books, cross-stitch books. No, not 3, 4, sorry. And so I grabbed them all because at $75, the regular price was like $1.25. So at 75 off. They were like 33 cents a piece or something. I mean, one of them's even missing some pages, but for 33 cents, who cares? So I was going to do a quick walkthrough of some of the patterns in here. Not all of them, but I did mark the ones that I liked a lot, that to me made it worth it, in case you're interested. So this is a Merry Christmas in cross stitch. This one is what year? 1994. Sorry, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on to read this. But let me just show you the ones I marked. So I would probably not do this for Christmas, but like, I really like those roses for some reason. They're very old-fashioned. I mean, obviously it's 1994. This one has a whole set of like nutcracker things that you could do. They have done like they did it on like 10 count or something as a tree skirt, but also, as you can see, some ornaments and stuff. You got the soldier and the mouse and everything. Again, I wouldn't make this as a stocking, but I could see using the like sun and moon for something. Or, you know, you've got the sun and moon ornaments. Not sun and moon, star and moon, rather. I think these Mr. and Mrs. Claus stand-ups are adorable. I don't think made by Michelle McGraw watches me, but I think she would find these adorable. So that was that one. Cross stitch Christmas. Like I said, these are all Better Homes and Gardens. This one is 2002. And this is the one that is missing some pages. It does not have like the first 20 pages of it. This one also has a nutcracker set that you could do, you know, the ornaments, or they've done a, you know, thing over there. These pages are falling out of this one. You know, you've got these patchwork, like the little Santas. You could do those as ornaments. That's kind of, again, I wouldn't do it as a stocking probably, but you know, you could pull parts of it. I'm channeling my Made by Michelle McGraw and looking at things that I can like pull parts of it from. These little star Santas are cute. Whoops. Like I said, this is the one that's really falling apart. Here, I'll just hold the pieces instead of the whole thing. These were cute, a little snowman and a Santa. This one has like a whole little Merry Christmas banner. With snowmen. And oh, this one's the one I really like. I really like. That's, despite the fact this book is falling apart, I really liked that Santa. I'm not usually a prim type person, but I just like the way that one's done. This one is a cross-stitch Christmas and is from 1995. They call this a wreath, but you know, basically you could do this little train set as ornaments. If you had somebody in the trains. A toy soldier ornament that was cute. Sorry, I can't, behind the book, it's hard for me to see what I'm showing you. I don't usually do flip throughs of things. Come on, where's that tab? Why won't it come? Oh, these were cute little snowmen ornaments. Here's a cute little bear. I would never do the bear, but I mean, if you needed some snowflakes or something, I'm not going to make a snowflake vest, but it's got several little patterns for snowflakes in it. And then this one, I think I only marked one on, Christmas cross stitch. This is the front of this one. And it was, I think this was the old one. This was 1987. But I did like this kind of Nordic, this one right here. So, but I mean, you know, if this is the only pattern I like in this for 33 cents, that's worth it to me. So, okay, let's get on to, like, the real shopping, I guess. So I went to Snuggly Monkey. I got this cute little bag because I spent over $100. Some of this, you know, I may or like I bought a sort of a thimble to push needle through for sashiko. Some of this is random. I bought a couple of Cosmo Flosses rainbow because eventually I want to start Move Forward in Love. And I want to do the outside border in a rainbow. So I think it would probably be this one. This one's got more green in it. But I bought 2 of each of these colors. Just to decide whenever I get it started. So I bought, these are needle things for sashiko needles. I picked up one, but then they told me they were sold in sets of 3. So I had to go back and grab 2 more. They have Cottage Garden threads. I bought, those are, I'm going to show you those in a minute because when I show you what I think they're for. Sorry, I should have pulled some of this stuff out beforehand, I guess. I can't show you that because that's probably going to be a giveaway at one of my retreats. I should organize this a little better, sorry. I bought 2 bodkins for, you know, like pulling stuff through when you're sewing, pulling like a, if you're doing like a tube or something. I bought this little needle carry card. So it's got little slots for needles. Oh, this fat quarter was part of this goodie bag that I got. And they gave me a little sample of their 100% European wool. And there was a pen with a little sewing machine in it. That was part of the goodie bag. Okay, so let me show you the other stuff I actually bought. So this is a Dragonflies on Water sashiko. Not kit. It's the fabric with the stitching on. And I bought this thread probably to do that with. This is a Halloween sashiko panel. And I picked up this purple and orange, but then I found, sorry for the crinkling, this like Halloween kit that has purple, orange, gray, black all in it. So I will probably use a combination of that. This is a drop cloth sampler, Milky Way. It's embroidery. So it's like a printed sampler, and you just do, you know, your own stitching on top of it. And so I bought, this one's called Milky Way sampler. I picked up these Cottage Garden threads to use on that because I want to make it more like purpley blue Milky Way. It's got, so you can see from this picture here, the fabric has this kind of blue-green wash down the middle of it, which will add some color. So, I mean, I may add some other yarns to that. And then I bought this. This is a kit. I have no idea what the name of it is because it's all in Japanese. But it is, this is what it will look like. But it's a kit. It has the fabric, it has the little things, it even has the little frame to frame it in afterwards. So I thought that would be cute for one of my granddaughters or something. It's got the needle, it's got the beads, it's got everything. So, so that was all the Snuggly Monkey haul. Barefoot Needle Art, this was not from yesterday. I had actually ordered this a while back, but I got the newest, the Halloween issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine that just came out actually a few weeks ago. So, and Amy, who is the designer at Barefoot Needle Art, has a, see if I can find, where's the pattern page that shows the I think that one's it. She has a design in here. Yeah. Let me see if I can do it without showing. It says home is where you hang your broom. Anyway, thought that was cute. There's several cute patterns in here. I do like this. That's full coverage. I really like this too. The like Day of the Dead cat. So anyway, so yesterday at when I drove down there for their 2nd anniversary, I bought a few things. Well, it's not going to be in any particular. So this is a 6x6 Mill Hill frame that will probably end up being for that. I have one more of a different color of that frame. I'm going to try and see which one I like best. 5 random skeins of DMC that I picked up. I'm trying to build up kind of a reserve, so I have it on stash. These 3 greens, Classic Colorworks, are the greens for my March Quaker, which will probably be done on 40 count Sandy Toes from Barefoot. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. Same thing with Gentle Arts. I've been randomly picking up 5 skeins when I order something or whatever to try to create a Gentle Arts stash. Picked up some needles. Got some fabric. So I got 2 fat quarters of 40 count Barefoot Needle Art Sandy Toes. I love this colorway, if you can't tell. Got 2 fat quarters of that, only because she didn't have, if she had a fat half, I would have bought that. I got a fat quarter of 40 count Barefoot Needle Art Sea Mist, which, take my glasses up so I can see. It's not showing up true to color on the screen. It's got a little more green in it. It's definitely a blue, but it's leaning towards like a teal blue. I can't get my camera to show it. And then I got this piece of 40 count Under the Sea Winterbrook, which is a green. And I thought about this for the March Quaker, but the tones are not right. It's not the right colors, so got that. What I might do is just one of these 40 count Sandy Toes, just dedicate that to nothing but Quakers till it's filled up. Excuse me. I bought one of Memory's project bags. I just really like this one with the fall leaves, and it's got like some, I don't know if you can see it, some gold metallic in the fabric. And what's on the inside? I don't even remember. Oh, you can kind of see the bronzy of the inside is, oh, well, that up there is what's on the inside. So, got that. Patterns. I bought Meowoween by Stitches by Ethel. Just thought that was cute. I got, this is an older pattern, and in fact, it's copyright 2011. But Amy and Memory have a model of this in the store, and I've looked at it multiple times, and I finally caved and bought it. It is Spider Banner by Alessandra Adelaide Needleworks. And the email, I mean, not the email, website address ends in .eu, so it's apparently she's a European designer. I got The Old Graveyard by Thistles, and I bought all the fancy floss for that. I have to find some fabric for it. And I got Jan Hicks Creates E Pluribus Unum, which is like the American flag version of Love is Love. So I really like that. So that is it for stashing for retirement. Trying to make sure nothing's gonna fall here. Calendar. As I mentioned before, I will be at the Southwest Association of Wood Turners in August. I am not a wood turner. My husband is, and I've decided I will go with him. I will probably rent a car one day and drive up to like Fort Worth, Dallas area, and hit a couple shops up there. And there's a cross-stitch shop called Needleworks near Fort Hood. and I think Fort Hood's name's changed, but I don't know what the new name is. But anyway, in Copperas Cove, it's not Copper Cove. It's like, I can't, the name of the town is not Copper Cove. It's like Capera Cove. I don't know. It's something Cove. Anyway, I am going to the Queen City Stitch Retreat the first weekend in October. And I'm going to SAF 2 weeks after that. I have decided since I last did a video that I'm going to Stitch New England the weekend between those two. I'm sadly having to miss the Barefoot retreat, which is the same weekend as Queen City, but I had gotten into the Queen City retreat before I ever attended my first Barefoot retreat. And you know, I'm not going to, it was a hard choice, but I really don't want to pass up the opportunity to meet Nora Corbett and do all that. So, so my it's not a consolation prize, because I really wanted to go to Stitch New England. I had just was trying to be responsible and not do that, you know, 3 retreats in a, well, SAF is not a retreat, but 3 things in a row, weekends in a row, particularly since none of them are just like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I finally decided, you know, screw it. I'm taking 2.5 weeks off work, and I'm just going to go to Charlotte, and I'm going to come home and do my laundry and hang out for a couple days, and I'm going to get in the car and take 2 days to drive to Massachusetts, and I'm going to do that retreat and drive back 2 days and do my laundry and turn around and go to Asheville. So I talked to my boss about, you know, how some of this just couldn't be canceled. I mean, worst case scenario, I could be in the office a day or 2 each of those weeks if I didn't really need to. But if they're never going to go home, and they're never going to say, okay, now's the time to take vacation with enough notice that we can actually take vacation. So I'm just going to plan it and do it. So, so there's going to be about 3 weekends in a row that I'm just going to be driving and visiting, and I might be completely and totally peopled out by the end of it. But fortunately, the 3rd weekend is SAF, which is with my 2 besties, Michelle and Peggy. So that will be more relaxing, less on, you know, the 2 retreat weekends will be, I mean, I know, like, the Queen City retreat, I know some floss tubers, some people that I've met and stuff like that, but a good friend of mine, Anne, who does have a floss tube, but she hasn't recorded in a while, if she's watching, Craft All the Things is her floss tube, she will be there, so, you know, I'll have a good friend that one. The one in Stitch New England, I'm really looking forward to meeting Pam. I feel like I've gotten to know her pretty well. And there's some other people, you know, that I Zoom with regularly and stuff. But those 2 are a little bit more on, as far as, I mean, I don't know, I'm not exactly an introvert, but I do get where I need my me time. Of course, my solution to that is I don't share a room at retreats where I don't have a good friend going. I mean, if Michelle or Peggy were going, we share a room. But I get my own hotel room, so I have a place for me to go to be quiet. And I'm willing to spend the extra money to do that. So, but then the 3rd weekend will be SAF, which will be with Michelle and Peggy. So that's, you know, if I need to go, like, off by myself when I'm with them, they don't care. So, but sitting around and talking with them is not, I don't know. Anyway, it's more comfortable. But anyway, so I have decided I'm going to Stitch New England. I'm excited about it. I've got one of the things I need to add to my stitch list is I have figured out, I think, what I'm going to do for my small, because there is a smalls exchange at that one. Queen City's doing a notions exchange, and so one of the thing from Snuggly Monkey I said I couldn't show you is because that's for that. But I have figured out, I think, what I'm going to do for my small. I just got to do it. It's going to be small as far as stitching goes, but I've just got to actually do it. So we'll see. Anyway, I think that's about it. Hopefully I will be back sometime in October. Not October. God, hopefully I will be back before October. I was going to look at my calendar, but my calendar is on my phone, and I am talking on my phone. So, let's see, calendar. I was trying to figure out if the Waco weekend was the last weekend in August, the weekend before that. Yes, the last full weekend in August. So I don't know if I don't get back if I don't do a video by like the 21st of August, it probably will be early September, like Labor Day weekend, before I do another video. Is that Labor Day? Yeah, the 4th is Labor Day. So anyway, maybe in a couple weeks, maybe in a month. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully not, no later than like Labor Day weekend. I'll be back with another video to show you what I've been up to, and I think that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. There's a link tree below that has my email and all that. There is a spreadsheet below that shows you, that will tell you all of my cross-stitch projects, all my cross-stitch whips and what fabric I'm doing on. If you have any questions about that, you can check out Ravelry if you have any questions about knitting or crochet projects. Or, like I said, feel free to leave a comment below with a question, or email me. And I think that's it. So I will see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.